Hi everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back to my channel for another painting tutorial in acrylics. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a palette knife to paint some bright red flowers in the foreground, and I'm going to show you how to make a background look really kind of airbrushed, blurry, and it's going to give you perspective. It's going to help us like focus on what's in the foreground and what we want to stand out. So there's lots to learn in this tutorial today. Let's just go over some of the colors and brushes I'm going to be using and the canvas as well. I just painted over an older canvas. It's 14 by 14 inches. I painted it black. I have a little palette knife here. You can use any shape or size that you want for this. And I've got a 50 filbert brush, a few mop brushes here for blending, and a number 2 long liner brush for some stems. I have the following colors here: titanium white, brilliant purple, or any like light pastel purple color will be fine, some luminous red, luminous lemon yellow, some sap green, and I've yet to choose the bright red I'm going to be using for my flowers today. I'm probably going to go with Napthol Crimson, and this is by, all these colors are by Holbein and Liquitex Basics. So I've got a Napthol Crimson here that I might use in combination with my luminous red. However, I'll have a full list of everything I'm using today in the description box below this video. Just click and everything will pop up for you. And of course, I'll be going through everything, every step of the way, so you guys can all follow along with me and paint this yourself. So if you guys are ready to learn how to paint this, let's go ahead and get started. Just before we do that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's free, and there's over 1,000 different videos here for you to learn and get inspired from. I also want to mention we're about to release my brush set. Anything I'm using with a lavender handle, I've got a 5-piece professional brush set. It's going to be released for the 3rd time this April 2024. So I'll have a link below where you can go click on that. It'll take you there. Thanks everyone. I'm going to squeeze out my Napthol Crimson. Now what we need to do to begin this painting is take a large brush. Here I have my 50, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of water, and I'm just going to wet down the canvas a little bit. This will help the canvas take the paint better and help me get a nice soft airbrushed blending effect. I'll probably still need to add a little bit of water during this process. However, I'm going to just take a little bit more on the end of my brush like this, and I'm going to start off with purple, and I'm going to add, I accidentally picked up a little bit of red. That's okay, because we are going to be using red next. But what I'm going to do is come around the edges with the purple, and we're going to gradiate into our red, yellow. Now as we do this, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. Because we're painting on a dark canvas, I'm going to add a little bit of white just so that it stays a little bit on the brighter side. Otherwise it's going to dry to a faded kind of dark grayish purple. I do want to paint on a black canvas though for this, because we're going to get the most depth this way, and it's really fun to see how you can create that working on a dark canvas. So I'm just going to go around. Even though we're going to cover up part of this down here, I just want to go around and add this, because there's going to be little hints of this purple in between the green and our flowers, and it's going to look really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of white again, some more white, go over this some more. And I'm going to take some red and white now, and I'm going to apply this partially over the purple. So we're going to get a little blending in there. So see how pretty that is mixed with the purple. And now I'm going to take some white and some yellow, a little hint of that red, and I'm going to start right about here. It's important to have a little bit of white in there, otherwise the yellow is going to dry green. So we're going to blend that into our red. I'm going to add a little bit more white in the center. And this is where our dry mop brushes come in handy. You want to do this technique, apply this technique to wet paint. So I'm just going to soften by going around in little circles. Now you shouldn't need to push very hard. You can lightly pull as well and bring some of that yellow starting here. Just continue to go around in little circles and bringing it out to the purple. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is rinse that brush out, and I'm going to go over to my smaller mop brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, and I'm just going to start pushing and tapping along here for the beginning stages of our flower field. Some grass, some bushes. Tap and dab that around. Bring up a few little higher tree areas. And then you'll just go around in little circles, blurring that up and softening. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more green and yellow. And just keep layering. I'm going to take more of the green this time. Start to layer a little bit more. The paint's going to start to dry a little bit now, and we'll be able to add some darker areas like this. Let's take our dry and clean mop brush, soften over that. And see how that just gets all blurry and indistinct and out of focus. Okay, you can see it's all dry now. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit more yellow. I'm going to get a little fresh area here of yellow just so that I'm not dipping into a little bit of green that I made with that yellow. Okay, I'm going to use another mop brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to go around in this area here in a soft circle. Take a little bit more, push and twist, push and twist. Take a little bit more yellow and red. Get really close to the white. Add a tiny bit of water to your brush if you need to. I'm going to go over to another one that's a little bit larger. Add a little bit of water. You don't need a lot. And just soften. A little bit more red, a little bit more yellow, and a little bit more white. Look at that beautiful shade of pink that we make. But you've got to remember to soften it after. Okay, then I'm just going to dab my finger in some white. I'm going to place it right there in the middle. And now I'm going to come in with my palette knife. I'm going to take both of my reds, and I'm just going to start pushing and tapping. The paint is going to be quite thick when we do this. Now if you want these to be red poppies, they can be red poppies. They could be any flower that you want, and you can use a different color if you want. I love red though, like red just really stands out. Now I'm going to apply some more of my luminous red. These are by Holbein. And you just dab a little on there. Push around gently with your brush, or I knew I was going to do that. So I rarely use a palette knife, so I'm probably going to call this a brush a few times. So the bright neon red that we're adding is going to give us a little bit of a, well, they're luminous paints, and it's going to make the petals look luminous and light filtering. So like the sun is coming through them. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my sap green, mix it with some red, and I'm going to add a little bit inside the flowers. Add some smaller ones and you can layer over. Ones that are just little buds. Take my liner brush, add a bit of water to it, sap green, a little scoop at the base. And let's just add a few little faint ones in here. Just picking up more water. I've got lots of paint in my brush. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of white with some red, kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of this for a different shade. And we could add some other little flowers. I'm not using much of the palette knife. I'm really using the tip there so you can see how much paint I have on there. Okay, I'll take some more of my luminous red. Some white with that. Add some of that inside the petals here that are on the top and the side. There's so many different textures you can get and create different flowers by how you push and tap, or gently push and then twist around. And take a little bit of white. Okay, let's take some purple. It's okay if there's a little bit of red in there. Some purple and white. And start adding a little bit. Kind of like little stalks, flower stalks. I'm just going to pull in like this. I'm going to take another mop brush, tap a little bit, and then just soften. So now we have blurry out of focus here in the front, and then our flowers that stick out more, and then soften out of focus in the back. So you can build it up in layers. Take a little bit of the paint off some of these areas, or add a little bit. I'm going to take my liner brush again, some yellow, some green, and some white. Add some stems that stand out a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take some more reds, both of my reds here, and I'm going to add a larger flower right here. A little bit more of my sap green. I'm just going to take red for now though. Okay, now I'm going to take the green. And dab that in the middle. Take a little bit more. Go down on an angle. Now with a liner brush, just going to blend some of this green in with the red to make a darker shade. It looks black, doesn't it? So there's still lots of paint in my brush. I can use that. Add a few other darker flowers. Go into my light green here. A little bit of white. I'm going to soften some of these flowers. Take a little bit of white. You can twist with your brush to make it look like very soft flowers. Or you can just go around with a brush. I've got a lot of purple here. I'm just gonna steal some of that and dab it down here. Okay, so I dried most of this off in this area here because we're gonna add some sun rays. I'm also gonna add a few more flowers down here with some pink and orange. So I'm gonna introduce a couple new colors. I've got luminous orange here. So I'm just gonna add some right there. I'm also gonna add a little bit more of my neon red. And I'm gonna add some luminous opera or neon pink. A little bit right there. Okay, so I'm going to be using a small flat brush. Any small flat brush will work. You can have one a little bigger than this or even a little bit smaller. And I'm going to get my brush a little bit wet. Okay, so I've got luminous lemon yellow, neon orange, neon red, and neon pink. A little bit of water, a little bit of yellow. We'll take a little bit of orange. We get this really soft, beautiful peach color. And we're gonna, the sun is right here, so we're gonna just add some sun rays right over this. Just gently pull down. Add a little bit of water if you need to. Add a little bit more white right in here. Gentle little flick, shorter flicks. a little bit more of the orange. A little bit more yellow and white. So now it looks sparkling. If you pick a little bit of the red up from your poppy, that's okay. Kind of just looks like it's in behind there anyways. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of orange and red now. Mix that with my peachy color. And I'm going to add inside some of these petals. Add a little bit of white. Let's go and take a little bit of our Napthol Crimson and our green. And add a few darker shades of red in there. And let's go back over to our palette knife now and take some pink and some white. And just add some little dabs for some small flowers. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow with white on top right there. A bit here as well. Anywhere we want to have the sunlight hitting. Take some orange, pink, yellow, and white. Don't be afraid to layer over some of those other flowers. You want that layered look. This is just one of those really fun, abstract types of paintings where nothing looks realistic about it, but we just get this sense of beautiful summer light hitting these wild flowers. Whatever I've got left here, I'm just kind of putting on my palette, pushing, slightly mixing. And I've got another dry mop brush here. I'm going to catch some of these flowers that are a little bit wet still. Soften. Take a little dab. Just on the end of my brush here, a little bit of that peach. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of my sap green, a little bit of water, liner brush, and pull some little stems in here. Let those colors just pull out and blend. This little one right back there, one right here. Few little dabs inside the flower petals. With green over the red, it'll dry really dark and look black. And I've got a glove here. I'm going to do a little bit of finger painting. I think that will look really pretty. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the color, the paint that we have here, take a little bit of that off. Dab, dab, just little petals like this. And whatever I've got here, a little bit. It's nice when you apply the paint really thick like this, you can go in and tap over some of those colors like it's really thick, and then you can use that look like little foxgloves, especially here how it kind of left a hole, like darker center. I'm going to add the final sun rays here. I'm going to go back into my white, and I'm going to go in the middle, make that really bright again. Flick. So we're not going to add sun rays over top of this flower because the sun is kind of like right in behind this. So these petals are in front. We just want to have the sun rays right here. Take a little bit of my peachy color. I'm gonna get a little bit more. A little bit more yellow. A little bit more of the orange. I'm going to mix up the peach again, the yellow and the orange with the white. Tiny bit of sap green, and I'm just going to get inside the top of this flower stalk. Mix up a little bit of green, yellow, and white. Push and tap for a few leaves. Add the final bit of white in here. I just come around the edge here of the flower with my orange and tap just with the end of my brush. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this today and learning how to paint using some techniques with a palette knife, a few brushes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!